Okay, so in this video we are taking a look at supercharged sunsets. So we're going to open the sunset start image, and this is what I have open now. We are going to add an adjustment layer, and we are going down and going to choose channel mixer. So in the channel mixer we need to make sure our output channel is red, and in the red channel we are going to put plus 200, and you can type that into the box or use the slider. And the green is going to be minus 50, and in the blue minus 50. These channels have to add up to 100. It doesn't matter how you arrange them for your particular photograph, but they have to add up to 100. Next we are going to select the blue channel, and we're going to have the red as minus 50, we're going to have the green as minus 50, and we are going to have the blue at plus 200. So the next thing we are going to do is just reduce the opacity of that layer to about 80%. And obviously while you're in the channel mixer you can adjust those channels to suit your image. You can adjust the opacity of the layer to suit your image as well, and see what is the best results that you can come up with. Now if you like the overall look on the whole image but you think it's just a little bit too harsh here, if you select your brush tool, so B for brush tool and D for default colours, to make sure you have default colours down here. And then if you hit the 3 key to make sure that you've got, just Control and Z there because I'm still on the opacity, that's it. If you hit the 3 key you want to make sure that you want about a 30% opacity up here. And on the mask you just come in and you can just paint away some of that brightness, and if you want to paint some of it back you can just hit the X key, and I think I'll just take the opacity down a little bit further and just paint a little bit of that back in until you're happy with it. So if I turn that on and off you can see the difference. It's made a huge difference to this image, but now we want to have more of an effect on the water than we do on the sky, because we're happy with the sky. So we are going to hit Control and J to duplicate that layer, and we're going to invert this mask. We want to convert this mask to black to hide this effect because that's pretty gory. It's you've just duplicated what you had done before. So if we hit Command or Control Alt or Option and I while we're on the mask, Control, I was right in the first place, Control I or Command I on the mask to invert. So then we need to take a white brush. We have a white brush selected and we've taken opacity of about 30% I think, and just paint in some of that lovely colour as a reflection of the sky onto the water. And if you think you've painted it in a little bit too much, you just hit the X key to switch the brush back to black and paint a little bit away until you're happy. And that's simply it. If we go to the history and we look at the start image and we look at the end image, you can see it's really boosted those sunset colours. Lovely. That's it. That's all you need to do now. If you go back to the layers, then you could flatten this image, and if that's all the adjustments that you're going to do, then you can be done with it. So if we like this technique, what we could do is create an action for it, and we'll do that now. So I'll take these 2 layers and I'll drop them into the rubbish bin, so we're back to where we started. Now if I open the actions panel, I am going to say we hit this little plus key, and that brings up a box. We're going to name this action, and we are going to name it Supercharged Sunset. I am going to pop it into an action set that I've created called Mary's Actions, and I'm going to hit record. We now have a little record button, and if you haven't got a set of actions with your name on, to create a set you just create a new folder here by hitting on this icon, and I named mine Mary's Actions, so I put all my actions within that folder. You can see them up here. So I have the twirl effect, the autumn effect, the dodge and burn, and now we're going to put Supercharged Sunsets in there. Now I'm just going to right click and, oh no, we'll have to drag that previous one, and I'll drag it down into the bin. So I'm going to need to start this one again. So if I press stop, right. So if you click on the folder here, we'll create a new folder, and we'll call these Photoshop Training. So this is the new set, so that's a folder I'm going to create. Now I want to create a new action, so I'm going to hit the plus key here, and I'm going to call this action Supercharged Sunset, and I'm going to hit record. Now we've got the red button appearing over here. That's your record button, and it's not time specific, so you can take your time over it, but what it will do, it will record every action we make from now on until we stop the recording. So we're going to come over onto our layers palette. We're going to come down and add our adjustment layer, and it was a channel mixer. We're going to go into the red channel, change that to plus 200, into the green minus 50, into the blue minus 50. Then we're going to select the blue channel, and we're going to go red minus 50, green minus 50, and blue plus 200. Okay. That's great. So the next thing we are going to do, we are not going to go and brush onto here, because your brushing is what you would have to do at a later date. That's the thing that where you get to make your choices on. So we will reduce the layer opacity to about 80%, because all these can be changed again after you've run the action on a new image. The next thing we're going to do is hit Ctrl and J to duplicate the layer, and Ctrl or Command and I to invert the mask to black. And again, we're not going to do any brushing, and literally that is all we really need to do. So then we can come over to our actions panel, and we can hit the little square button to say stop recording. So let's see that in action. So if I come and take these 2 layers and delete them, so we're back with our start image. If I come over to the actions, and here is our Photoshop Photoshop training actions. Here we go and supercharged sunset. So if we look in there, you can see what we've done to create that. I'm just going to close it. We just need to select the top line, supercharged sunsets, and hit the play button. And there you go. Your masks, your channels and your masks are here ready for you to come and take your black brush here and paint out of there a little bit if that's what you want to do. So if I turn that on and off, you can see the difference there, and I might take down the effect just a little bit in those clouds up there, and then I can come on to my black, and with the black brush just come in and paint that down onto the water. So the only thing you could have done differently while creating the action would be to just come in and rename your layers so that you know that this one is for the sky and this one is for the water. So if you do that while you're creating the action, then those layers would be named like that then. Okay, thank you.